Stop what you're doing right now. I'm about to reveal something that will completely change how you see that situation you've been replaying in your mind. You know the one where she seems perfectly fine without you, where her Instagram looks like a highlight reel of happiness, where she's out there glowing, laughing, living her best life, and you're wondering if you ever mattered at all. But here's what I'm about to show you. Everything you're seeing, it's performance art. And I'm going to decode the real signals hiding behind the mask. Because women are psychological masters at concealing their true feelings, especially when their pride is on the line. Today, you're getting the playbook to read between the lines. Look, I get it. You're scrolling through her social media at 2 a.m., analyzing every post like it's a crime scene. She's posting pictures with new people, new places, new energy. And your brain is telling you one story. She's moved on. She's happy. You're forgotten. But here's what years of understanding human psychology has taught me. The loudest messages are often the quietest ones. Real healing doesn't need a spotlight. Genuine moving on doesn't require an audience. And when someone is truly over you, they don't need to prove it to the world. What I'm about to share with you are the subtle, unconscious behaviors that reveal what's really happening behind the curtain. These aren't games or manipulation tactics. These are psychological patterns that people can't help but display when they're trying to convince themselves of something that isn't quite true. The first sign she's not as over you as she claims. She needs you to witness her happiness. Think about this logically. When you're genuinely content with your life, do you spend time making sure specific people see how content you are? Of course not. You're too busy actually living. But when someone is performing their happiness, especially for an audience of one, that tells a completely different story. She's suddenly posting 3 times more than usual. Every photo is strategically crafted to show her glow up. She's tagging people she barely knows, showing off experiences that seem forced rather than natural. Here's the psychological principle at work. When we're trying to convince ourselves of something, we often try to convince others first. It's called external validation seeking, and it's a dead giveaway that internal peace is missing. If she was truly at peace with her decision, your opinion of her current life wouldn't matter. The fact that she's seemingly crafting content for your consumption reveals that your perception still holds weight in her world. Real happiness is quiet, consistent, and doesn't need witnesses. Performed happiness is loud, inconsistent, and desperately needs an audience. The question isn't whether she looks happy, it's whether she needs you to see that happiness. Women are masters of indirect communication, and when they're not over you, they'll find ways to keep you in conversations without actually talking to you. She'll mention someone from her past to mutual friends, knowing it'll get back to you. She'll make generalized posts about never dating that type again, which is really about you, but with plausible deniability. This is psychological breadcrumbing, leaving just enough of a trail to keep you thinking about her while maintaining her emotional distance. If she was truly done, your name wouldn't come up at all. Not directly, not indirectly, not ever. Here's what's fascinating. When someone genuinely moves on from a relationship, they stop referencing it entirely. They don't need to prove they're over it, warn others about it, or make public declarations about it. It simply becomes irrelevant to their current narrative. But when she's still processing, still feeling, still affected, you become a reference point. Every new experience gets filtered through, this is different from before, or at least he's not like. That comparative thinking is evidence that you're still occupying mental real estate, even if she wishes you weren't. The intensity of her need to discuss how over it she is directly correlates to how not over it she actually is. Because silence is the sound of someone who has genuinely moved forward. This one cuts deep, doesn't it? She won't text you, won't comment on your posts, won't give you any direct acknowledgement of your existence, but she's watching your stories within minutes of you posting them. Every single time. This behavior reveals something crucial about her psychological state. She's curious, but controlled. She wants information, but not connection. She's maintaining distance while simultaneously staying informed. This isn't random browsing. This is intentional monitoring. From a psychological standpoint, this represents what experts call ambivalent attachment. She doesn't want you back in her life, but she can't fully let you go either. So she creates this middle ground where she can observe without engaging, know without caring, watch without participating. The real tell? When you post something significant, a new achievement, a photo with someone new, a life update, and you can see she viewed it immediately. That immediate viewing isn't casual curiosity. That's someone who has notifications on, who's been waiting to see what you're up to. If she was truly indifferent, your life updates would be background noise. Instead, they're appointment television. She's appointed herself as a silent witness to your life, which means your life still matters to her, even if she'll never admit it. Let's talk about the person she's with now, because this reveals everything about her emotional state. Look at him objectively. Really look. Is he an upgrade from you, or is he just different? Is he someone who complements her growth, or someone who fills the space you left behind? There's a profound difference between choosing someone because they're right for you and choosing someone because they're available to you. When someone is genuinely ready for their next chapter, they're selective. They have standards. They wait for quality. But when someone is running from emotional emptiness, they'll accept companionship over compatibility. They'll choose presence over connection. They'll settle for someone who treats them well over someone who truly gets them. Here's the brutal truth. If the connection you had was deep, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, no casual replacement is going to satisfy that hunger. She might enjoy the attention, appreciate the distraction, even genuinely like the new person. But those surface-level connections can't touch the soul-level void left by something real. Watch how she talks about this new person. Is she gushing about their deep conversations and spiritual connection? Or is she highlighting surface-level things? How well he treats her, how stable he is, how different he is from you. Those comparisons reveal everything. She's not describing love. She's describing relief. This might be the most important section, so pay attention. There's a massive difference between someone who's healing after a breakup and someone who's running from the pain of a breakup. And the signs are written all over their behavior. Real healing is internal work. It's quiet, consistent, and doesn't need external validation. Someone who's genuinely healing might change some things about their life, but those changes feel organic, purposeful, aligned with their values. But when someone is running, everything feels forced and performative. The new haircut, the sudden fitness obsession, the complete friend group overhaul, the dramatically different style. It all happens at once. And it all feels like she's trying to become someone else rather than becoming a better version of herself. Running looks like constant motion without direction. Healing looks like intentional growth with purpose. Running needs witnesses and validation. Healing happens whether anyone is watching or not. Here's how you can tell the difference. Someone who's running will make sure you see every change, every upgrade, every improvement. Someone who's healing doesn't care if you see it or not. They're doing it for themselves. The forced glow-up is actually a cry for help disguised as empowerment. It's saying, "Look how well I'm doing without you," which implies that doing well without you required effort, strategy, and performance. But if she was naturally thriving, it wouldn't need to be announced. Here's something most people miss. How the relationship ended tells you everything about her current emotional state. If she never gave you real closure, if she disappeared without explanation, if she left things ambiguous and open-ended, that wasn't strength. That was strategic avoidance. Someone who's ready to move on closes doors completely. They have the difficult conversations. They provide clarity. They create clean endings because they want clean beginnings. But someone who's not ready, they keep doors cracked open just in case. The absence of closure is the presence of possibility in her mind. She didn't want to burn bridges because she wasn't sure she wanted to cross them permanently. So instead of ending things definitively, she created this gray area where neither of you is fully free. This gray area serves her psychology in two ways. It allows her to explore other options without fully committing to them, and it keeps you as a backup plan without having to maintain you as a priority. It's emotional insurance. She gets to see what else is out there while keeping you in her peripheral vision. So here's the real question, and I need you to be brutally honest with yourself. Now that you understand what's really happening behind her behavior, what are you going to do with this information? Because here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to use this as hope that she's coming back. I don't want you to see these signs as reasons to wait around or try harder. These insights aren't meant to fuel your pursuit of someone who chose to leave. Instead, I want you to use this understanding for something more powerful. Your own clarity and peace. Knowing that she's likely not as moved on as she appears should actually free you, not chain you. It should help you realize that her performance of happiness isn't about you, it's about her own internal struggle. Here's your real power move. Take all that energy you've been spending analyzing her moves and redirect it toward building something undeniable in your own life, not to prove anything to her, not to make her regret her choice, but because you deserve to thrive regardless of whether she ever recognizes it. If this resonated with you, comment clarity below. Not because you're hoping she'll see it, but because you're ready to see yourself clearly. Because the moment you stop needing her validation of your worth is the moment you become truly powerful, whether she realizes what she lost or not.